Review for the final exam. Which equations given are even functions? And the definition of an even function is that when you plug in the opposite of x into the function f, you get the same thing you started with. So out of the 4 functions given, this one would be an even function. This one would be an even function because when I plug in negative x and I square it, I get x squared, so it's the same. When I plug in negative x and I take it to the 6th, it's going to work out to be positive x to the 6th. When I plug in negative x to the 4th, it's going to work out to be positive x to the 4th, so it works out the same as the original when I plug in that. Problem number 2, find the domain of f of x equals x squared plus 5x minus 11. It's all real numbers, negative infinity to infinity, because there are no restrictions on what I can plug in for x. To find f of negative 7, you just have to plug in negative 7 where you see x. So negative 7 squared is positive 49. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. Take away 11, and then you do this. 14 minus 11 is 3. Problem number 3, give the slope and y-intercept of this equation. In order to give the slope and y-intercept, we need to solve this equation for y. So the first thing I'm going to do is add the 8y to both sides of the equation and then divide by 8. That solves the equation for y. 6/8 reduces to 3/4. So I have 3/4 x minus 6 equals y. So my slope is just the coefficient of x. My y-intercept would be at 0, negative 6. So solve your equation for y. To write the equation of a circle with a radius of 8 and a center at negative 3, 7, you're going to do x plus 3, quantity squared, plus y minus 7, quantity squared, equals the radius squared, which is 64. Number 5. To express h of x equals 2x plus 3 to the 4th as a composition of 2 functions, f and g, so that h of x is equal to f composed with g of x, what I want to do is let g of x be this, whatever's in parentheses, and then f of x is going to be the function, take it to the 4th power. So in other words, by writing g second, this is what I want to plug in to the function f. So this is what I want to plug in here and take it to the 4th power. So those are my 2 functions. To graph f of x equals the opposite of x plus 2, quantity squared, minus 1. This is a parabola. It's going to open down because of the negative. My vertex is going to be at negative 2, negative 1. It's the opposite of what you see here and exactly what you see here. Knowing the vertex is good because it gives me where you want to start. So negative 2, negative 1. I want to start there. Then you want to make an XY table. Plug in negative 1 for x. Plug in 0 for x, and then go to the other side, plug in negative 3 and negative 4. So when I plug in negative 1, here, negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. The opposite of 1 minus 1 is negative 2. When I plug in 0, 0 plus 2 is 2, squared is 4. The opposite of 4 minus 1 is negative 5. And then you continue, and you should get the same value because of symmetry. Negative 3 should be at the same place as negative 1. and then you connect and make your parabola. I would recommend 5 points to create the parabola. Problem number 7, the function f of x equals the opposite of x squared plus 40x minus 340 models the daily profit f of x in hundreds of dollars for a company that manufactures X computers daily. How many computers should be manufactured each day to maximize profit? So you want to use the x coordinate of the vertex is the opposite of b over 2a. So b is 40. So we want the opposite of 40 over 2a, where a is -1. And that gives me 20 computers. And then what is the maximum daily profit? I want to plug in 20 computers for x here and here. Now it's going to give you 60, but remember it's $60 because it says f of x is in hundreds of dollars.